Hi everybody, it's Victor Hamsa here. Just want to do a video. I was thinking about this a lot. I thought I'd share it with everybody about how the world can hate you. So when Jesus said the world will hate you because of me, you'll get persecuted. He's taught. It's not even like you're going out spreading the word or spreading the gospel. Now, if you've done the energetic body work, now you have like Jesus inside you. Basically, you're at that level where you have the calmness, and then you're everything's going well for you. You finally got rid of that karma. You got rid of those sins that were against you. Now you're at that extra level, right, where you're feeling good about yourself. And I'm not talking about being empathic, but the narcissistic empathic kind of point where the narcissist attacks you all the time. I'm going to explain a little bit differently. So what happens is people don't have their chakras open. So you're up to, let's say, your third chakra. So you're at your first or second, where you're talking about survival, you're talking about sex, there's anger. Those are all the first chakras. There's good things in there too. Survival is important things, but most people aren't energetically at the higher level where your heart is. Now, being that and I'm talking about to light workers and people who are into this whole higher dimensional awareness of thinking, right? So now you're into higher dimensional awareness of thinking, and now you're meditating, you're praying, and you're trying to work on yourself a lot. And now you're at the point where you're basically, not to talk about like Scientologists, but you're clear. So you don't have those going on. The universe isn't reflecting back at you as much, right, as it was. Like the universe reflecting back and forth. We talked about the 10 bulls before. So now I'm talking about, and if you haven't watched that, watch my video about the 10 bulls. There's part 1 and part 2. It goes on for a little bit. What I'm talking about is, people feel that higher vibration coming off you, and they get upset in a way, because that's the only way for them to match your vibration. A lot of times they should match your vibration because it's a sympathetic response, right? So when you hit a chime, there's other chimes in the room. They're going to softly vibrate to that chime. Makes sense, right? So now you're at that point where you're vibrating that higher level, and being the way I'm talking to like I said before, a Buddha sees Buddhas. I'm talking to people who are at a higher vibrational level. You could bring this in your own life as well, but when you're at a higher vibrational level, and we'll have to talk, think probably more about higher vibrational level, but now you're at that higher level, and so it's dragging out those negative things in other people, because they want because they want to be healed. They want that to go away. They want to be certainly more in your vibration, and then that's how they're working. So it's like you're looking through a lens. So they're looking through the lens of everything that way, and that's what they see. They're in the third dimensional mindset. They're not looking from their heart. They're looking from, what does this benefit me? What does it benefit my family? How do I get money? How do I get over on them? I'm sure there's some kind of agenda going on. What's this really hidden agenda? What's going on with this guy or girl? How can it benefit me? So automatically we're labeling them as narcissists, which is, it's a childish way of describing what's really going on in an energetic mindset. So what I'm a proponent of is understanding the chakras and understanding the energy centers within them and how they actually relate to human thought, and projecting your will upon the earth, and how you and when I say earth, I mean your reality, and how you're interacting with other people. So, and I've said this before, this is my saying, you know, it's easy to be enlightened on a yoga mat, but it's hard when somebody throws a rock at your head. So when you're out there in the world, you know, people are throwing rocks and they are just being the way they are. They're being negative. They're attacking you all the time. I find it in my own personal life all the time. You know, people, oh, that person was very nice. What did they have a problem with you? Why did they seem to all of a sudden get, you know, maybe a little upset, and they start talking about their past issues and all that. I'm like, well, they're trying to wipe that stuff out, and they want to, you know, they feel like they could talk about that with me, and they want to get to, you know, a higher level. But if you're not in the right setting, it's not going to work out well, where, you know, you're just going to have people persecute you, and it's just the way it is. So you have to kind of get used to it. I think of it all the time as a test where people are just attacking, and they just, you know, oh, he's a nice guy, we could get over on him. You know, I've said that before. I said, don't mistake my niceness as weakness. And it's unfortunate that you have to go out and say those kind of things in the world. But people all the time want to take advantage of you, and they say, you know, I'm taking your niceness. I said that, don't take my niceness for weakness. There's no weakness. I'm just being nice. And then they go, oh, because they're like, oh, gosh, I wanted to get over on this guy, but he seems pretty sharp, but he was being super nice. I thought he wanted something from me, right? So we get that a lot. We're getting people that we're dealing with, and then they're trying to get over on us, and then we're being empathetic to what they're looking for, and then they're in that narcissistic, you know, thing. So we have, let's talk about a little bit, we have left and right brain thinking, and I'm talking to the right brain thinkers more than the left brain thinkers. When you're in the left brain, you're more analytical, you're more mathematically, you know, inclined, but you're you know, when somebody says, oh, I'm a numbers guy or I'm a numbers gal, you know, I know what they're talking about. They're talking about they would rather deal with you in an analytical way, and versus being on you with a more spiritual or emotional mindset. They don't feel comfortable in that aspect, and it's very sad. And the reason is because they haven't done the energetic body work. So when I'm saying energetic body work, I'm talking about meditation, I'm talking about praying, I'm talking about going through your past, doing the past forgiveness issues, going through your karma, wiping out the karma, maybe even talking about past life issues, and seeing if you have something back there. You know, getting rid of all that baggage that is with you to move forward. So it's just unfortunate that, you know, those who follow Jesus, and I'm a follower of Jesus, you know, you get persecuted, and I get persecuted out there on a daily basis. And you could be, you're really, I mean, it's like you're channeling Jesus. It's like you're in one with the source, and you're walking around, and then people have problems with you. But it's not you, it's them. So that's important. And you don't even have to really say anything, and they'll, you know, it's like you're a magnet for in a way, negativity. So you're a magnet because people want healing. People want to be fixed. They don't want to be the way they are. They're upset. They're saying, now all of a sudden they're in a calm area, and they're getting more in touch with who they really are being at that moment, and they don't like it, and that's upsetting. So that's one thing that's upsetting. There's another thing that's upsetting, is because they feel that maybe you have a closeness with the Creator, maybe you have closeness with Source, with God, however you want to say it, and they don't, and that can be upsetting. And then they want to blame the issues they have with their reality on you as a person, as an individual. And they're saying, well, why am I not in a job that I really like? And they'll get upset with you. And I've had that happen to me time and time again, where people get upset. They're saying, and take it on me personally. Why am I in this relationship? That's not fair. Why am I having these problems? You know, but not doing, you know, the work themselves. So as a quote unquote guru, right? We're, you know, there's shiitake you could bring on. I'm talking about in an energetic sense, to send energetic healing to someone else. It's something I do. When you know, it's not a cure-all, be-all for, you have to do it is, but you have to do your own work yourself. Like a lot of times I'll do a healing with somebody, even, you know, mostly distantly, and then they start crying, and then they say, oh, I'm thinking about my past issues. And I said, okay, that's normal. Healing's normal. It's crying's normal with the healing, rather. So, you know, you're going through that. And by the way, excuse me for talking fast, but there's a lot of information to cover. So you're going through that, you know, energetic with somebody else, and they say, oh, I just, you know, I feel so much better. I feel so much lighter. I feel like I'm finally, you know, in touch more with Source. I feel like I'm starting to think about my past, and now I feel like forgiven. I'm like, that's great. You know, what else in your past do you want to go over? And then, you know, they kind of shut down a little bit, you know, because that ends up being a tough subject for a lot of people. But what I'm talking about is you have to, you know, you have to work through these chakras. You have to work through the energetic levels. You have to do your own work. And then when you finally do, you know, get to that point, don't be surprised, and people still get upset with you. You know, people think, well, you reach enlightenment and it's all like, it's all rainbows and roses, right? It is, but you're still in the world, right? I'm still in the world. You're still in the world. You're still out there. Maybe you're able to see now miracles in the world, and you're like, wow, I saw that miracle. I saw this miracle, and it's great. It helps to see it. It helps to be aware of it and to note it for ourselves. But then, you know, you're moving on, and then, you know, people always attacking you, ripping you apart. And they're like, if you really feel that way, why is that? Why is it? You know, people used to come up to me, and they, I mean, this is years ago, and they say, why is it you're always so calm and happy? Why is that? You know, I don't like that. You know, they get upset. They get upset if you're calm and peaceful. People are upset. You upset them by not being upset. That's how screwed up a lot of people are. And they want to know. And they get upset because that's the only way, what I'm trying to explain from the beginning, that's the only way that they can interface with you, because they're asleep, right? So Jesus said, you know, you'll be persecuted in my name. It's not even just his name. It's just being more in tune with Jesus, being more in tune with Source, being more in tune with Creator in a higher vibrational sense, higher vibrational self. You're going to get attacked, and it's a common thing. So, you know, get used to it, treat it as a lesson, and, you know, try to help other people with it and move on. Anyway, namaste. Thanks for tuning in. Love you. Like, subscribe, share. Bye.